Hey everybody, here it is, episode 211 of Is This Thing Working? How you doing, Denise?
I am awesome on this Monday evening.
Ain't it great?
It is great, and I love to be here. This is so much fun to be here talking to you and telling you everything that's going on.
Yeah.
Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday now.
Yeah, and it's cool to be here, but man, we've got good news today, but we got a lot of bad news, and our hearts break, man, for the people in North Carolina today, and have been since this has happened. You know, we've got family in Florida, plus in North Carolina too, and our hearts and prayers go out to them, plus everybody else that's out there.
Yes, and especially those over there in the Asheville area of North Carolina. The death toll from this New York Post article that I'm looking at says that it has tripled in Asheville area after the hurricane. Man, it guts North Carolina. And I hate to say this, but part of the title is there were bodies in the trees. And it's just devastating.
Yeah, here's what it said. It said the death toll from the catastrophic flooding in the Asheville area of western North Carolina more than tripled on Monday to 35, as survivors in remote mountain towns described seeing the bodies of victims stuck in trees. Nationwide, there have been 120 fatalities from Hurricane Helene, which has cut a path of death and destruction across the southeast since making its landfall last Thursday night.
And they're still without.
Yeah. And it's just pictures of just everything flooded, not only flooded, but washed downstream, you know, and I know a lot of people have seen all the videos from it. It's horrible.
Oh, it really is.
Yeah.
They've been finding bodies under the rubble. Said Alyssa Hudson, whose home of Black Mountain, a village of 8,400 people about 12 miles from Asheville, was all but destroyed. The rain smashed the mountains of Bocome County, which contains Asheville, washing away whole communities in floodwaters and mudslides. Roadways were buried or dissolved altogether, leaving victims cut off from rescue crews.
Yeah, Interstate 40 completely washed away. Remember, they were talking about that yesterday, how it cut off all the inroads. So it did. It cut them all completely off, man. This was a horrible, horrible thing.
Yeah, and there's so many things that's coming out about this, too. And we'll get more into that as the show goes on. But before we start this show, we want to state that these are our opinions and our assertions.
Yep. And if you agree with us, hey, man, like it, share our show with your friends. And if you don't agree with us, go ahead and still like it and share our show with your friends, man. Tell your friends about it. I don't care.
Yes. And you can find us on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Rumble, on all platforms everywhere.
Yep.
And share and make sure you subscribe so you can get our notifications every time we go live.
Yep, which is Monday,
Wednesday,
and Fridays.
There we go.
Yep. What's the first thing we always do? Whoa, let's do this, though. Yeah, I got ahead of myself, didn't I?
Yes, he did. Well, we want to also talk about our sponsor. We have a sponsor today. It's Cornbread Hemp.
Yep.
And they had a little bit of problems in their fields in Kentucky. They were severely damaged by Hurricane Helene. And they said they'll be working through the weekend trying to save the crop. And they actually did. They harvested every bit of it. And they have it sitting in their warehouse now, drying out, getting ready to go. So we're very happy that they managed to make it through. Yep. Okay.
And so if you are a CBD user, go to Cornbread Hemp. Check out all their products that they have. And when you do, use promo code ITTW. You'll get 30% off your initial purchase.
Yes, organic wellness products for a better quality of life.
Yep.
And it is legal, by the way. It is legal. Promo code ITTW. And what's the first thing we do is, as James says?
Bannon Watch.
Bannon Watch. Here we go. We have a message from him, and we just want to remind you, he's got 1 month left in federal prison from the crazy people that put him there. But listen to what he has to say. He is going to get you fired up. Here you go, Steve Bannon.
J. Trump's going to get north of 80 million votes, and Donald J. Trump is going to be the 47th president of the United States. And just like in ancient Rome, like Cincinnatus, he's going to come back from the plow, and he's going to lead us to liberty and freedom. There's nothing to debate. You're either on the side of liberty, you're on the side of freedom, you're on the side of this republic, or you're on the other side, and there's no excuses. This is as black and white as it can get, but it all depends on you. Trump's the instrument, but you are the power. And remember, this is everything. You cannot relent, you cannot give up. Every day you must hammer, hammer, hammer. It's not morning in America, it's the middle of the dark of night. But I can see the sunlit uplands 5 or 6 years out after toil and struggle and fight and victory after victory after victory. You put fear in them because they can't control you.
That's exactly right.
Me? I can't hear you. "14 generations from before the revolution, every patriot grave down to the present day is looking to you and holding you accountable for what's going to happen. Are you man and woman and patriot enough to answer that call? Are you prepared to answer the call?" God bless you. God bless Donald Trump, Charlie Kirk, and most important, God bless this Republic of the United States of America.
Mic drop.
Yep.
Absolutely. 100%. So what Bannon is saying is that you need to be a force multiplier.
Yeah.
And you need to get out there and do what we always ask you in our call to action, to be informed, becoming engaged, and get out the votes. And make sure you take 10 friends with you to vote. Email 10 friends, call 10 friends, text 10 friends, send 10 friends postcards, or send 10 people you don't know. There's plenty of apps out there. At TP Action has an app, so you can download it, and they give you like 10 names that you can send 10 postcards to remind them to go vote.
Cool.
You know, so we have that. And we need you to do this because we have 35 days until we vote, until the election day. You know, in most of these states anymore, they're election month.
Right.
Or a couple of months or 60 days.
Yep.
You know, so if you can go ahead and get your vote in early, bank your vote. I believe that's how we're doing it this year. Get your vote, get it out there, get it done. Because if you don't, I have a feeling you're going to vote anyway. And you're going to vote however you don't want to vote. I mean, I don't trust these people.
Yeah, I don't either.
One bit.
I don't either.
At all.
But in good presidential and good leadership fashion, President Trump has paused his campaign to go out and help the people that have been ravaged by Hurricane Helene. And he's asked Elon Musk to also help, man, because they have outages out there, no communications. AT&T was down, Verizon was down.
Yeah, there was a lot of them. All of them were down this morning, they said, even though they weren't in our area here in Texas.
Yeah.
Because, we were up early and out and using our phones.
But they were there.
But they were there. So we have an article by Gateway Pundit, Anthony Scott.
Yep. The great Anthony Scott.
That's it.
And it says that Trump says he asked Elon Musk to hook up Starlink in hurricane-hit areas to help restore communications. It said that as the Gateway Pundit had reported earlier, President Trump is visiting Valdosta, Georgia, to deliver aid and remarks on Hurricane Helene's devastation to Georgia, North Carolina, the Carolinas, and to Florida. While delivering remarks to volunteers and victims of the hurricane, He also revealed that he had just talked to Elon Musk and asked the billionaire to hook up Starlink services in hurricane-hit towns. He said, we just want to get Starlink hooked up because they have no communication whatsoever. There's a video on here too, isn't there?
Yes, right here.
Let's check this
Let's
out.
go ahead
Y'all
and
listen.
check him out.
Homes, hospitals, highways, and cars have been plunged underwater. Entire neighborhoods have been turned into lakes. Nobody's seen anything like it. And to every family that's been displaced here in Georgia and North Carolina, which has really been hit. We were going there also, and they don't have communication. They don't have anything right now. We're trying to. I just spoke to Elon. I'm getting him. We want to get Starlink hooked up because they have no communication whatsoever. And Elon will always come through. We know that. And so we're working on that, getting them hooked up. They asked me whether or not that would be possible. And we're going to try and get the Starlink in there as soon as possible because they have no communication. And throughout the region, our hearts are with you, and we are going to be with you as long as you need. It's called an hour of need. You're in our prayers, and we pray to God. And throughout the long weeks that lay ahead, you're going to have a lot of work, but the end result is it's going to be good. We just wish so many people weren't so badly hurt, and in many cases, sadly, no longer with us. We love you.
Do you hear leadership? Did you hear what he said? He come to the people and he gave them a plan of what we're going to do to help get the situation better and solved, man. And not only him, but Nick Sorter also. He put this out on Twitter. He said, alert, Asheville, North Carolina is a total blackout zone, so we've set up 2 Starlink stations for public use. Even North Carolina State Police aren't able to connect to cellular networks, so they're using our Starlinks now. And so he even listed them with the SSID address and all of that, man.
Yeah, how they can get connected to communications. And this is what true leadership is all about.
Yes.
And this is what we're always telling you folks. President Trump, he is out there for the people. He's out there for you. He's America first. Americans first.
Yes.
And when Americans are hurting, he is
there to help.
And
And that's what he done. He recognized the needs that they have, and he's letting them know, hey, man, we love you, and we're going to be here to help you and get you through this. And that's, if you take that and you contrast that to what Kamala Harris said, and this came at 5:06 p.m. Eastern time today.
after he was down there at 1:30.
Exactly. So what this seems like to, and this is what Gunther said on Twitter about it, Gunther Eagleman did. He said Kamala Harris, in what seemed like a hastily arranged photo op, briefly appeared before the cameras to recite a pre-written script, feigning empathy for those devastated by Hurricane Helene. Listen at this woman, and you tell me what you hear. Listen at this.
Our doors to strangers in need. And as they always do, our first responders are working around the clock, putting their own lives at risk to keep our communities safe. Moments like this remind us we have so much more in common than what separates us. And the true measure of our leadership, each one of us, is based on lifting other folks up, knowing how we can make a difference. So I thank everyone for rising to this moment, and I thank you all here for the work that you each do. May God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you all very much. Thank you.
Yeah, well,
What
another
did you
thing,
hear?
What I hear, I heard nothing.
That's exactly right. You heard nothing out of her but platitudes and no plan.
No plan
to help.
whatsoever.
And I know that as of early this morning and this afternoon, FEMA had still not even showed up to help.
I think
So
I read
what-
somewhere that FEMA finally showed up, but I also read that Joe Biden wants Congress to come back into session to, give some money for FEMA. What happened to all the money that they just passed in the CR?
Exactly.
A supplemental
Where is
for
their-
FEMA.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they have plenty of money. they could use 100%.
So yeah, there right there shows you the contrast between who is a true leader and who is whatever
All about
the
words.
hell she is. Yeah. Let's keep moving forward. Don't forget to tune in to JD Vance, Tim Walt's debate coming up tomorrow.
It's a showdown. They say it's a showdown. You know, most people are really saying, hey, man, we shouldn't, be too worried about this. I mean, it's just the vice president. But it's very important. J.D. Vance is a Republican nominee, and then there's Governor Tim Walz, who we also found out recently
Is a CCP asset.
a CCP asset. And that's what
He's
the
a commie.
Democrats do. They find stuff on people, and
When you're compromised, you
controlled.
comply.
that's exactly right. He's going to be able to be controlled. So everybody tune in to CBS tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. And it will be, isn't that right?
Yeah.
And it will be moderated by CBS Evening News anchor and managing editor Nora O'Donnell and Face the Nation moderator and chief foreign affairs correspondent Margaret Brennan. So it will be very interesting to see how the dynamics.
Yep.
So there are rules.
Yep.
There will be no opening statements.
All right. Let's keep going. Will there be opening statements? There will be no opening statements. How long will candidates have to answer questions? For each question, the candidate who has asked the question will have 2 minutes to answer. The other will be allowed 2 minutes to respond. Following that, each will have 1 minute for additional rebuttals, and the moderators may, at their discretion, give candidates an additional minute to continue a topic. Lights in front of each candidate will indicate how much time they have left to speak. The candidates will also have a countdown clock.
Oh my gosh!
No,
this
that's
is just
good.
getting ridiculous.
Well,
though.
I'm
the
okay
rules.
with that. I'm okay with that. The moderators will be seated and will be the only ones in the room permitted to ask questions. Here's their rule on closing statements. At the end, candidates will have 2 minutes for each closing statement. A coin toss was held on September 26th to allow the winner to choose the order of closing statements. Vance won the toss, and he elected to go second. He deferred to the second half.
Awesome.
So he will have the final
He will-
word.
Good for him.
Yep, there we go. He deferred to the second half, man. Will mics be muted while the other candidate talks? CBS News reserves the right to mute the candidates' microphones, but otherwise they will be hot. So this will be interesting.
Yeah, this will be interesting.
Will candidates get their questions in advance? They will not receive any questions in advance, nor will they receive any topics in advance. Additionally, staffers are not permitted to interact with Waltz and Vance during breaks. Candidates are not allowed to have props or pre-written notes on the stage, and they'll be given a pen, a pad of paper, and a water bottle. There's your rules right there.
Good luck with that. Well, we're going to be tuning in.
Yeah.
And do what we can to bring you our take on the matter. But don't forget, we also have Texas races going on here in Texas. And Ted Cruz, man, he's running a really close race with
Colin Allred.
Colin Allred.
Yep.
So this is going to be very interesting. Politico come out with this article today. It says, Ted Cruz rebrands for a tight race in Texas. And it says the polarizing conservative has been softening his edges ahead of another closer than expected re-election campaign. So this is very, very important, guys. We need you to, be a force multiplier and really volunteer to help Senator Ted Cruz, because we need the Senate.
Yeah.
We need the Senate.
And like him or not, Cruz is a hardliner on a lot of things, man.
He is.
Yep.
He don't step out of bounds. He does follow the rules and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of things that we wish that he would do more of.
Yeah.
I know that there's a lot of Republicans in there that we're like having to hold our nose and vote for, but Cruz isn't quite that bad. But we really need him in there because we need to keep Texas red. This is part of keeping Texas red. And so you can go to Ted Cruz's website at tedcruz.org, and you can volunteer, and you can be a part of his posse. So, and you can donate, and you can stand with him for Texas. And I already went ahead and filled out my get involved. You can get involved up here in the corner, and you can donate. So you can go in there and get involved however you would like to do.
Right.
There's plenty of things for you to be involved in to help Ted Cruz, because we really need him.
Yep, and that's it, www.tedcruz.org.
Yes. I mean, you can become a Cruz ambassador. You can volunteer. You can write a letter to the editor. You can attend events. You know, so let's get involved. And also, our great Texas Attorney General.
He is always involved.
He is always involved.
Yep, I love our AG here.
There was so much we were looking through here, and we were like, hey, we're just going to go on his X. He posts everything on there under Texas Attorney General. Excuse me, everybody. And he says, on the first one here is, Attorney General Ken Paxton sues Travis County for holding unlawful secret meeting to approve taxpayer-funded special security for pro-crime. Travis County DA Jose Garza.
Yeah.
So they held this secret meeting to up the security.
To hire a better security firm. Yeah.
That's funny.
For the Travis County DA. Here's another one. He will continue defending Texas election integrity after a ruling blocks his office from investigating vote harvesting schemes.
Yeah, see, and
Is this amazing?
That's amazing. That's amazing to me because, I'm sorry, but harvesting votes here in Texas is illegal.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't, and that's why this right here is exactly why we push so hard to get our judges in there that we did, because now it's going up to appeals court.
Yep. Exactly.
See? And so maybe let's keep our fingers crossed. But he also did on September 27th, he sues the city of Austin for illegally appropriating taxpayer funds to pay for out-of-state abortion travel.
Yeah.
So what the heck is going on there? And he will continue to fight unlawful firearm bans like the one that's going on at the Texas State Fair right now as we speak.
As we speak, yep.
So he is absolutely on top of it for us. So we keep up with what's going on there. But everyone's heard the big news.
Yep, the strike.
The strike is fixing to happen.
Workers. It should happen by midnight tonight.
U.S. port strike by 45,000 dock workers is all but certain to begin at midnight, says the AP. Now, this is the AP. This is a leftist-leaning. No,
Doesn't
I'm
matter.
saying
I mean, it's the
leftist.
truth.
It's the truth. This is what's happening, and this is going to be devastating.
Yeah.
And it's really going to be devastating for guess who?
Yep.
The Biden-Harris administration.
Yep. It says here in the AP article, the union representing the dock workers has signaled that the 45,000 of its members will walk off the job at midnight tonight, kicking off a strike likely to shut down ports across the East and Gulf Coast. The coming work stoppage will threatens to significantly snarl the nation's supply chain, potentially leading to higher prices and delays in goods reaching households and businesses if it drags on for weeks. That's because the strike by members of the International Longshoremen's Association could cause 36 ports, which handle roughly half of the goods shipped in and out of the U.S., to shutter its operations, man.
Yeah, and those include Houston, New Orleans, Mobile, Tampa, Miami, Jacksonville, Savannah, Charleston, Wilmington, Norfolk, Baltimore, Maryland, Wilmington, Delaware, Philadelphia, New York and New Jersey, and Boston.
Yeah, the entire East Coast.
The entire Texas, all the way around the East Coast. absolutely.
So
gonna
where will
be
all of our stuff be coming from?
California,
Who ships to California?
China?
There you go. Think
Isn't-
about that.
Isn't that amazing?
Isn't that something?
That's really something. Yeah, that is definitely something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of the missed headlines that we did that we haven't done yet is
Yeah, this happened today during the White House press conference with KJP and
Steve
Peter
Ducey.
Peter
Peter
Ducey.
Ducey.
Yep, Peter Ducey. Yep. Listen to this.
13,000 people who have been convicted of murder crossed the border illegally and are living among us. So how much danger are U.S. communities in right now because of this?
I'm assuming you're talking about the ICE data.
Yes.
So just a couple of things, and I think it's important to correct the record here. First of all, the false representation of the data ICE shared. So that was what we are seeing, false representation. I got to call that out. We got to call that out. And it's been fact-checked by some of your colleagues here, by multiple outlets that has been debunked on what has been falsely misrepresented here. So we have to call that out. And so, look,
Can you clarify what the misrepresentation is?
Yeah.
the numbers that is being put out about how many people are out has been falsely represented here. If you look at the total returns and removal of the past year, that has been higher than every year under the previous administration since 2010, if you look at it. And if we're going to report something, a data that's out there, we got to do it in a way that is not confusing the American people and certainly not lying. And so this has been fact-checked, and so this is the way that is being falsely represented here is just not okay. And they'll got to be really clear about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely crazy. I mean, she pretty much comes out and calls everybody a liar, even though we've all seen the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement letter that was written on September 25th to the Honorable Representative Tony Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Telling the amount of people and criminals that are inside of America for different things. Convicted criminals, pending criminal charges, convicted criminal, and look, convicted criminal, 425,431.
Yeah.
Pending criminal charges, 222,141. I mean, these are big, big numbers. Dangerous drugs that are coming in, convicted criminals, 56,000.
Yeah. Well, here's the ones that she was saying had been fact-checked, and she was trying to dispute them. And these were numbers in their charts also. Of the 7 million migrants that ICE has released, while their cases are being processed, there are 663,000 of them have criminal histories. 13,000 were convicted of homicide, 16,000 of sexual assault, and 1,845 of them are facing homicide charges.
Yes, and they have done nothing but still leave them here in America.
Yeah.
They should be deported immediately.
Yes.
I mean, immediately.
Locked into prison until they're deported immediately.
Yes, exactly.
Yes,
they should
exactly.
be gone.
Yeah.
You know, but no, they're not going to leave.
No, they're free. They're free to roam the streets.
They're free to roam the streets in your neighborhoods, folks.
Yeah.
And that's why we keep hearing all this stuff that's coming out about the crime and the gangs that are going on. You've heard of Governor Abbott. He's put out a $5,000 a bounty on anybody that can identify any of the Tran gang.
Yeah.
That gang, the Venezuelan gang that's here.
Yeah, the TDA gang.
And so far, they've caught 2 of them. So
There you
that
go.
is working. So I'm real glad about that they're working on that. Now, we had a couple missed headlines because, the election's going on, and that's all we were focusing on pretty much right now. But this was huge, and it has been overlooked. Not many people are talking about it, and I wonder why this was leaked.
Yeah.
But this conversation from the Gateway Pundit, the great Jordan Conranson, he says huge leaked conversation between Arizona's Democrat governor, attorney general, and secretary of state reveals attempt to cover up 98,000 voter registration glitch. Officials worried about calls for new 2020 and 2022 elections. Now, I've read through the article, and a lot of it comes from the Washington Post, and what the reason why I'm skeptical about all of this is because after 2 years, you cannot have a redo.
Yeah, you can't go back and have a re-election.
Now, maybe at the time when it was going on,
When it was known about.
when it was known about, they hid it. Even Carrie Lake went through all of that during the 22
Yes.
after her governor.
Yep.
She lost the governorship.
And in this article, they even say that those elections, even the Democrat Attorney General, Chris May, she even admitted that all the elections were changeable at that time as a result of the state not verifying voter citizenship. That's crazy.
It is. And they just let it go. You know why? Because they don't want the people to have a voice.
Yeah.
And the people voted, and they don't want people to know that these election machines are horrible and that they are changeable.
Yep.
And
They're rigged.
And the numbers don't match up ever.
Right.
And that's what's going on in Georgia. They have set a new rules. They have changed the rules to where they have to count the ballots to make sure they match the number. I mean, who doesn't everybody audit when you finish for the day or the month or the quarter? You have to audit down to the penny.
It would be the same as balancing your checkbook every month.
That's exactly right.
Exactly.
That's all that they're asking in Georgia. Well, Mark Elias from the Democracy docket, he is going to sue election board over ballot hand counting rule. So just one more thing that the Democrats do to stop free and fair elections.
Yeah.
And this is
Think
it's
about
just
that.
uncontrolled.
Yeah, you've got this. You've got the Paxton thing going on here right now. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yes, and
You've
there
got
in
Arizona.
and
Yeah.
Here we go. We have a 2024 election. Well, if they didn't fix what all was going on in 22 and 20, then 24 is going to be the exact same thing because the same people are still in charge.
Right.
Nothing is going to change. The RNC has done nothing to change anything. The people have done it. The people of Georgia themselves kept going to the board and saying something's wrong with their elections.
Yes, they did.
We need to figure this out. The people are
Remember,
doing
it was like 385,000 ballot difference.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, there was some serious stuff going on in the 2020 election. And the thing is, it's been going on for years, and we're just now finding out about it. Everybody has been selected. The Pentagon, the deep state, we don't even know for sure who it is that is selecting everybody to become, a part of their, I don't know. I think they pick people that have stuff on them so that they can.
If they're compromised, they'll comply. Yep. If they're compromised, they'll comply.
Everybody, thank you very much for showing up tonight. We really appreciate it. Please share the show with all your friends. And tune in again on Wednesday night.
Is this thing working?
Rise up.
Well, hey, everybody, that's it for today. Thanks for listening, and I hope you've enjoyed the show. Hope you've learned some things about what's going on around us in the nation and in your communities. We couldn't do this without your continued support either. We appreciate all of you showing up, taking the time to listen to us today. So please, like I say, make sure to hit the like button, share our show with all your friends. We'll see you next time on Is This Thing Working? And as always, I'm James. And that's my lovely co-host over there.
Denise,
And we'll see you next time.
we're out.